Mr. Emoto became terribly interested in the molecular structure of water and what affects it. Now, water is the most receptive of the four elements. Mr. Emoto thought perhaps it would respond to non-physical events. So he set up a series of studies, applied mental stimuli, and photographed it with a microscope.
For one sample of water, we drop about 0.5 cc's onto each 50 petri dishes. Then we take those 50 petri dishes and freeze them in a freezer at minus 25 degrees Celsius for about 3 hours. We take those frozen samples into a refrigerator that is set at minus 5 degrees Celsius, where a microscope with a camera is set up. There we take photographs of each of the 50 water drops individually. We first take photographs of water that we did not put any information in. Then we take the water with information and do the same procedure just described. We take those before and after photographs and compare the differences. When we projected the feeling of love and thanks to water, it made the most beautiful crystal. At times like this, I think water is at peace.
This first picture is a picture of water from the Fujiwara Dam. And this picture is the same water after receiving a blessing from a Zen Buddhist monk. Now, in this next series of pictures, Mr. Emoto printed out words, taped them to bottles of distilled water, and let them out overnight. This first photograph is a picture of the pure distilled water, just the essence of itself. These subsequent photographs, as you can see, are each different. This is the chi of love. And we move along here to thank you. And you can see where he taped that to this bottle here. But if you read Japanese, you already knew that. Now, Mr. Emoto speaks of the thought or intent being the driving force in all of this. The science of how that actually affects the molecules is unknown, except to the water molecules, of course. And it's really fascinating when you keep in mind that 90% of our bodies are water.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it? If thoughts can do that to water, imagine what our thoughts can do to us.
And we're back. Yes, we were just talking about having a studio audience, and it's like, hey, the clip's over.
Hey, what about us?
Yes.
What about like being present right now?
Exactly. Oh, that's my okay.
That was amazing.
That was amazing, and I love the last thing that the man says to the woman. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? If thoughts can do that to water, what's happening inside of our body? And after I saw that first time in What the Bleep, I thought, my goodness. Whenever I have those self-loathing thoughts or those thoughts of beating myself up again about something, I think about those water crystals. And that last one they show, you make me sick, I'll kill you. Yeah, it was not so good.
That's scary.
It was. So after seeing that and after hearing about intentional chocolate, which I'll explain in a moment, I got into the habit myself. It's a little different and a little kooky, but I enjoy it. It makes me happy that when I think about it before I drink a glass of water or eat something, I actually put intention into the water because I'm about to ingest it. So I say, this water nourishes me, brings me energy, life force, I'm thankful. Those just really good things, the qualities. And then it's just a little moment for me to realize the blessing that I have of just being able to drink cool, clear, fresh, clean water.
I know I've even written, I have a hot tub bottle. I take a hot tub every morning, and I have a bottle, my special hot tub bottle, and it says joy, love, peace, and harmony. Joy and love on one side and peace and harmony on the other side. And so I fill it up with water in the morning and let it sit for a little while, and it's amazing. I ran out and read the book and watched about all of this water stuff with Mr. Emoto. It's just fascinating to me. And mostly because we're 90% water.
Yes.
So, wow, with our bodies being 90% water, I think it's important to set the intention for love and peace and harmony and joy, and just have more of that. And, one of the things I love about when we start sharing all this information is just how easy it can be to change our experience. We could just have peaceful, wonderful thoughts, change the frequency of the water and the intention of the water, which is our body, and change the way we feel almost instantly.
I think that's one of the best things we have going for us. And for me personally, in learning about all of these different things, I'm like, wow, I really do have some control about the way I feel when I'm out in the world.
Yeah, that's a big word. I know so many people just feel. I think that's actually, we talked a lot about stress. That's actually one of the a big stressor is not feeling like you're in control of your life. I know that's a big one for me.
Yes, and I mentioned just a few moments ago about the intentional chocolate experiments.
Yeah, I want to hear about this. I haven't heard about that, I don't think.
Maybe you have in one of our classes. There's an experiment that's done, and I don't have a piece of paper, so I'm going to go from memory. And if I get a little bit of something off, I apologize. But again, you can Google intentional chocolate. This one was a group. It was a double-blind study. That means that the researchers don't know and the participants don't know who's getting the intentional chocolate. They took chocolate and gave it to Zen Buddhist monks. Again, like the water there was blessed by a Zen Buddhist monk and the crystal changed. And they had them put the intention of more peace and harmony into chocolate. They took the same type of chocolate, so it was exactly the same chocolate, except it hadn't been blessed by monks. In a double-blind study, they gave these pieces of chocolate to a group of people. Some people got the intentional chocolate. Some people got just the regular chocolate. Nobody knew who was getting what for 12 weeks. Then they surveyed the people before the chocolate and after the chocolate. So beginning of the 12 weeks and after the 12 weeks. At the end of the 12 weeks, the people who had been receiving the intentional chocolate reported 66% more happiness and peace than those who had been given the regular chocolate. So I say that to some people sometimes. They're like, well, you're eating chocolate. Of course you're happier.
That was my thought. But everybody was eating chocolate.
But everybody was eating chocolate, and everybody had that endorphin rush, the things that happen with chocolate as a natural raising the mood, because that's been scientifically proven that there's some there's some components of chocolate that actually do elevate the mood. But those who had the intentional chocolate, their mood was 66% higher than those who were just eating the regular chocolate. So again, infusing that intention that when you have this, you receive these benefits. And these people didn't even do it themselves. They didn't even know that they were getting chocolate that had been blessed by Zen Buddhist monks.
It's pretty amazing. It makes you kind of wonder about all the food, everything you put in your body and what the intention is. And I've worked in restaurants I worked in almost for 20 years in restaurants, and I know what goes on in those kitchens, and now I'm thinking about all that food that I eat in restaurants and the intention. So I'm going to make up now that all chefs and all restaurants are sending out that food with love.
Well, and when you get that plate of food, you can infuse it with your own love and intention.
I actually do that. I have this little thing that I do. Somebody told me if you kind of rub your hands together and then put it over your food with intention, that it makes the food vibrate at a frequency that is perfect for your body. Mm-hmm. So it makes it indigenous to your body, and I just always thought that was a good plan. But now that I get this part of it, this side of it too, I'm like, wow, I'm going to keep doing that.
Right. You know what I love about all of these little rituals that I do and you do and I hear from other people? Some people may be like, blech, that's just a bunch of whatever.
Just eat your food.
Focus. Right. Yeah, come on, man. That's just nutrients. I want to get them into my bloodstream. Whether doing this over your food or having the intention, whether that works or not, to me it doesn't matter because I feel good when I do it. I get the effects from it, so good for me, works for me.
Well,